Hello and welcome back to the debate. The draw for the Champions League was made earlier on today, and Jose Mourinho's Manchester United will be welcoming back Cristiano Ronaldo. It's one of the most exciting groups. Manchester United, Juventus, Valencia and Young Boys in that group. Cristiano Ronaldo's going back to a very different Manchester United from the one he left, isn't he, Danny?
He is, and what a squad he left as well when he was at the club. He's been quite phenomenal player. He's a Manchester United legend, and obviously he's had a great time at Real Madrid, and he'll be hoping to do the same with Juventus. And he'll go to Old Trafford, and there'll be a lot of supporters looking back over the years, remembering when he was playing with Tevez and Rooney and Ferdinand and Vidic, and the list goes on and on and on. And they'll be looking back with a lot of emotion, I think. And then obviously the game will go on. But
well, look, before we get into the details of it, let's take a look at who everybody's got, the English Premier League sides in the Champions League. As we heard, Manchester United with Juventus, Valencia and Young Boys. In the other groups that you need to know about if you follow the Premier League teams, Group B, Barcelona, PSV Eindhoven and Inter Milan for Tottenham. Bienvenido to the Champions League. Group C for Liverpool, PSG, Napoli and Red Star Belgrade. Another easy one. And for Group F, Manchester City, Shakhtar Donetsk, Lyon and Hoffenheim.
What you're saying it in a kind of a tone that is that.
I'm suggesting that there's a disparity in the difficulty levels between some of the groups that the teams are facing. Is that fair, or am I deluded?
I think no. You look at that and you'd have to say that Manchester City will be the happiest out of the English teams.
By how much?
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
But they earned the right, though, didn't they?
Yeah, but like you're still thinking to yourself, don't be surprised with Tottenham and the way Tottenham are playing, being very comfortable in that group. Of course, they've got to play Barcelona; they're amazing. But we said the same when they had to play against Real Madrid and Juventus and Dortmund. Tottenham will be very confident in there. But you still worry for Man United in that group in their current form.
But looking at that format, how exciting is that, though, that this new format is pitting the best teams against one another now so early on, where we're used to seeing teams maybe be comfortable and already qualified with a couple of games to go. I don't think we'll see that now.
No, hopefully not.
I wanted to get your thoughts on Manchester United because they're the hot topic at the moment. If you're going to be one of the biggest clubs in the world and things aren't going particularly well, people are going to talk about you. And things aren't going particularly well for Manchester United in the league. How are they set up to play in Europe? How well equipped are they to perform in the Champions League, do you think?
I think what we'll see is, in particular away from home, is what they did against Sevilla and what they tried to do, which was be defensively strong and then at home obviously try and go for it. I think the big issue
will be targeted, wouldn't it? Absolutely.
The big issue that they have is that a lot of people ask the question, well, why did United need to go out and get a centre-half in the summer? There's only Manchester City conceded less than them. I think they wanted to sign a centre-back to actually score more goals. It might sound bizarre, but I think at the moment, coming to a Tottenham game in the minute, I think at the moment there's too many players in that team that are having a defensive responsibility put on their shoulders because Mourinho can't get a consistent centre-back partnership. He can't get a partnership that he trusts. And all the centre-backs, regardless of what you think of them, they're all the same. The best partnerships, whether it be centre-forwards, whether it be centre-backs, they're opposites. United don't have that. And when you talk about Alderweireld, Maguire was mentioned, they're ball-playing centre-backs that will get the ball, that will come out, will ask questions of the opposition midfield, maybe make a bit of space for Pogba. And then you go to the game on Monday against Tottenham. I didn't expect them to come out the way that they did. But I think it was purely Mourinho's gone, right, we're going to play with three at the back, we're going to have Matic sitting in front, and we're going to go for it. We're going to get balls around Lukaku, and we're going to get that goal. And if we can be 1-0 up at half-time, which realistically they should have been, then we can hold on to it, hopefully. When they weren't, I think the tide turned. I think Pochettino got his players in the dressing room and said, right, OK, it's been a little bit harem-scarum, the way that they've played, but this is how we go against them. We go down the sides against them. We take the centre-backs into areas they don't want to go. The wing-backs for them are playing really high. Let's get behind them. Second goal was a prime example. They were so disjointed and ended up being a huge problem for them.
So Juventus, Valencia and Young Boys for them in that Champions League group.
Yeah, and the thing is now, everybody looks at the Premier League teams and things, spending big money. The other teams are doing it now. You look at Juventus, obviously Ronaldo, Chan's gone there, Bonucci's gone back there, Douglas Costa, Pjanic, Khedira, Matuidi. That's going to be
that's
a big test. Valencia, they're on the up now as well. it's going to be a real tough test for him.
Do you think Mourinho will have more licence in the Champions League to play that more defensive style, so less questions will be asked of him?
I think so. I think if you say now to the powers that beat United, what is your aim? You get through. You're in the Champions League come the start of next year. Because the problem is, and we were speaking about it off air, is that if they don't progress in the Champions League, they go, obviously, they may have the chance then to go into the Europa League. Yeah. We've seen what the Europa League does to the Premier League. We saw Arsenal. You know, they put all their eggs in one basket, same as Manchester United. It worked for United because they won the Europa League. I don't think it's possible to sustain Europa League challenge and actually go for the top four as well. That's the fear, I think, for a lot of teams that do go out of the Champions League. You've got to make a choice, and it's not a great choice to make.
I don't think Man United will get through that group, if I'm going to be totally honest. I just think that the way they're playing now, there's nothing that I can see about the way Man United are playing consistently that's going to put the kind of pressure on those teams consistently in a game for them to actually win the game. And then even if they do try and go for, like you said, they're going to try and go for a team, get the goal and try and sit back, I think teams will be able to break them down.
And yet you do think that Tottenham can go through in their group. Do you think they can top the group?
I don't think it's important to top the group now, especially once you've got Barcelona.
Who they've never won against.
PSV Eindhoven and Inter Milan are the opposition.
If you can get through a group that's got Barcelona in it.
But when you said you can see Tottenham going through, you said it very confidently, as though, of course they can.
Yeah, because I do, because it's the way they play. From back to front, they've got everything. They've got the goalkeeper, back three, back five, all of them. They've got the midfield players, they've got Christensen, they've got Harry Kane who'll score goals, Dele Alli will score goals in big games. You know, Luka Moura now, you know, he's shown what he's capable of on the big stage at that Man United game. They've got a team that, obviously, a couple of injuries to some players, like you always have to say about Tottenham, and they're going to have a problem. But if they can put that first 11 out against any of those teams, you have to think that they've got to get something out of the game.
What I love about Tottenham is that they're the only team over the last 2 years in the Premier League, in my opinion, that they don't sign any players, they still become a better team. They're a group of young players that are developing all the time, they're evolving. I think Lucas Moura coming into his own this season now. We saw against United. The moment he's on the pitch, Christian Eriksen's afforded more time, Harry Kane is afforded more time, Dele Alli's afforded more time. So bringing one player in has actually improved that quartet up front.
And they've still got Son to come back as well. Hopefully, if he wins his game, he doesn't have to go in the army. But the fact is, you know what I mean? They've got some
pace. That is the situation at the moment.
They've got some pace now. I was so surprised with him. He's getting it and running with it. When's the last time you see people doing that?
Taking players on 1v1.
Exactly. I think that's what they ideally wanted someone like Eric Lamela for years. But it's not quite worked for him. But seeing Lucas Moura do it, it's thinking like, my gosh, Tottenham, another string to their bow.
The situation there is if they win that game and they qualify, if they win the tournament, then Son doesn't need to go and complete his national service, which needs to be done in the next 18 months to 2 years.
But the top man could still say...
And there's about 18 months of it to do.
But it's down to the top man. He could still say, yeah, but I still want you to go in the army. He could still say that, couldn't he?
Yeah. He could, but let's deal with the facts.
I'm just keeping quiet now. I'm not
I think that's probably an area we don't want to go into. Let's talk about Liverpool's group. They're in Group C, along with Paris Saint-Germain, Napoli and Red Star Belgrade. Look, they reached the final last time round. Expectations will be high. Expectations are high at Liverpool this season already. So what happens in that Champions League group? Is there a danger that the Champions League finalists might not get through their group?
Oh, it's a tough one, but I actually think, and how Klopp is, he just gives so much belief to his players and energy, and they do play. That front three are frightening, just with pace. And I don't think some Champions League teams can handle that because they are just coming from all different directions. And those Liverpool players will believe that they can go on a run again. And we have to look at that Liverpool team. They've added quality players and strength in depth with players like Shaqiri now sitting on the bench that can come on and add a different dimension. So they all believe that they can get to the final again.
I think you look at them, Kels, and, you know, like you said, the goalkeeper's a lot better. The back four, with Gomez coming in there looking like he's establishing himself next to Van Dijk, Robertson, Trent Alexander, and in the midfield, you know, Naby Keita's come in. Wijnaldum's doing very well. Milner's still putting in unbelievable. So then you like
and
Alex
you've got Sturridge now on the bench who looks like a new player again.
So you're looking at a team that will not only rip you to shreds if you are not on your game or you leave spaces for them to exploit, but a team that we saw can dig out a result as well if they need to. They've got that defensive capability now to eke one out and get people up front to nick a goal.